Preview. Focus on the main idea. South Asia is home to different peoples, making homes across magnificent landscapes, from mountains to islands. Places: Mount Everest, Indo-Ganges Plain, Indus River Valley, Harappa, Deccan Plateau, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. Vocabulary: subcontinent, monsoon season, subsistence farming. Geography of South Asia. You are there. Scorched. That's how you've felt since March. At dawn, when you rise, there are only a few cool moments. Fields are dry and brown. Roads to school and town are rivers of dust. Now, one afternoon in June, it is all going to change. A friend tells you what she's heard. Together, you walk across the street where others from your village have gathered. You look out at the sky, expecting something to happen. Suddenly, the air chills, the sky turns gray. The first raindrop falls. You lift your head up and smile. Your friend throws back her head and laughs. Raindrops dance on your face. You and your friend link arms and begin to twirl around in circles. You dance and sing with other children in your village. Welcome to South Asia. Target skill. Summarize. As you read, summarize the main facts about South Asian geography. A diamond breaks away. South Asia seems to stand alone as a solitary diamond-shaped land. Look at the map on page 124. From the continent of Asia, it extends far into the Indian Ocean. South Asia is also home to the world's tallest mountains, the Himalayas. Because this region is so large and separated by water from other land areas, it is called a subcontinent. Much of this subcontinent may have formed in a spectacular way about 50 million years ago. According to a theory called plate tectonics, Earth's surface is made of several slowly moving plates. The movement of plates may cause changes, such as the development of mountain ranges, basins, and bodies of water. The subcontinent may have once been part of a huge landmass that included the continents of South America, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. Its plate may have broken off and moved very slowly northward until it collided with or pushed into a larger plate. This bigger plate may have contained the rest of the European and Asian landmass. The smaller plate pushing up under the larger plate form the Himalayas. Even today, the Himalayas are still rising. Mount Everest, its highest peak, was remeasured in the late 1990s. It reaches 29,035 feet into the sky. Tibetans call Mount Everest Goddess Mother of the World. Think of the Earth's plates as constantly in motion. It is almost as if the land is a passenger on them. In some areas on Earth, moving plates cause earthquakes. South Asia is a location that is likely to have earthquakes. In 2001, earthquakes caused a lot of damage and many deaths in several cities in South Asia. Review. How did the South Asian subcontinent form? Summarize. Snow to monsoon. 8 countries are part of South Asia: India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives Islands or Maldives. These countries have many different landforms. Look at the map above. The Hindu Kush mountain range in the northwest and the snow-capped Himalayas in the northeast separate South Asia from the rest of the continent. Both mountain chains formed at about the same time. Pakistan lies in the northwestern region of South Asia. It is home to the world's second tallest mountain, the K2. A huge desert stretches across part of Pakistan and northwestern India. To the east and north are mountainous Nepal and Bhutan. To the south, a large river delta cradles Bangladesh. Extending southward is India, which makes up about 3/4 of the subcontinent. South of the Himalayas, India's land flattens into a lush green plain. In the middle, and toward the tip of India, the land rises into a wide, dry plateau. Surrounding the subcontinent is the Indian Ocean. The island nations of Sri Lanka and the Maldives are located here. Despite the differences in landforms, much of South Asia has a similar climate. There are 3 seasons. Temperatures are mild to cool from October through February. They shift to very hot from March through May. Then comes the monsoon season, or the rainy season, which lasts from June through September. Nearly all of the yearly precipitation, or rain and snowfall, falls during the monsoon season. After the monsoon season, the land is refreshed and full of life again. The monsoon season is very important to farmers, who depend on the rains for crops. The region's economy is closely tied to the monsoon. Review. Why do you think the monsoon is important to people in South Asia? Draw conclusions. Great rivers, Great Plain. 3 great rivers flow through the subcontinent: the Indus, the Ganges, and the Brahmaputra. From sources in the Himalayas, they fan out to the east and west through the wide flat plain called the Indo-Gangetic Plain, or the Indo-Ganges Plain. The rivers carry water and silt into farmlands to irrigate and enrich the fields. Monsoon season rains cause flooding, which spreads out more silt. This keeps the soil rich for the next year. Crops grown on the plain include barley, wheat, rice, peas, beans, and other vegetables. Many families grow food just for themselves. Sometimes they trade food with small groups of people in their villages. This process is called subsistence farming, because people subsist or live on the food they grow. They do not sell much of their crops. India and Pakistan are very heavily populated countries. Almost 1 billion people live in India, which is about 3 times smaller in land area than the United States. Much of the population lives in crowded farming villages on the Indo-Ganges Plain. The Indus River Valley lies on the plain in Pakistan. It is the site of one of the world's oldest civilizations. Review. Why is the Indo-Ganges Plain a good place for farming? Summarize. Then and now. Harappa and Sahiwal, Pakistan. Land of cotton. Sahiwal is a town of about 150,000 people. It is in a densely populated area of east-central Pakistan. The town is a center of the cotton industry, where workers use cotton to weave carpets. Cotton has been an important product here since ancient times. Sahiwal is practically on top of Harappa, one of the earliest sites of civilization in South Asia. The Harappan culture dates from 3500 BC. Workers in Harappa were probably the first people to cultivate or grow cotton for cloth. Plateau, coast, and islands. South of the Indo-Ganges Plain, the land begins to rise. At this point, the land narrows toward the point of a diamond. This region is called the Deccan Plateau. It lies between the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. The climate is dry in this area, and more irrigation for farming is needed. However, the plateau has rich volcanic soil. In the northwestern part, the plateau is made up of lava flows that produce thick black soil. Cotton crops thrive in the region. Farms also produce peanuts. The Deccan Plateau is framed on the west and east by rugged mountains, the Western Ghats, and rolling mountains, the Eastern Ghats. Each of these mountain chains extends about 1,000 miles in length. Locate them on the map on page 124. Forests in the hills and mountain areas are home to wildlife, including elephants, monkeys, and tigers. Most people work as farmers in India. People fish and farm along southern India's heavily populated coasts, too. The island nations of Sri Lanka and the Maldives Islands export tea, coconuts, fish, and rubber. Manufacturing is another important industry in the coastal areas and Indian Ocean islands. Many people work in the clothing and textile industries here, too. However, Bangladesh, the most densely populated country in the region, has the most garment factories. Review. Why is irrigation necessary for farming on the Deccan Plateau? Main idea and details. Summarize the lesson. South Asia is a subcontinent that may have been formed by a spectacular land collision 50 million years ago. The Indo-Gangetic, or Indo-Ganges Plain, is a heavily populated region of rich land worked by subsistence farmers. The Deccan Plateau has a dry climate and some rich farmland. People fish, farm, and manufacture textiles in the coastal areas and Indian Ocean islands. Lesson 1. Review.